Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Newark Department of Public Safety Community Roll Call Kickoff. My name is Raul Malave. I'm the Assistant Public Safety Director. It's my pleasure to be the Master of Ceremony for today's event. So, for everyone here, the Community Roll Call is a venture that's created by our Mayor, Baraka, and our Public Safety Director, Brian O'Hara. And the purpose of it is to create a safe environment for our residents, and also to create community engagement between our police officers and our residents. It brings forth all three divisions of public safety. So you'll see police here, fire department, and the Office of Emergency Management, as well as some of the other city agencies such as code enforcement, the Mayor's Clergy Affairs Office, Office of Violence Prevention, and the North Community Street Affairs, as well as other city agencies that will be available throughout the time. You'll see this every single day, 7 days a week, and we're going to do this every day until Labor Day. So we hope that you come out, get the word out. We want to see nice big crowds here to enjoy and to make sure that we foster a great relationship with our community. At this time, it is my honor to call forth the mayor of our great city. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Ross J. Baraka.
Thank you. I just want to thank the First Deputy Director Malave, the Director O'Hara, Public Safety Director, Chief Douglas. I don't know if Chief Jackson is here as well. State Police. We want to thank the State Police for being out and other partners for helping us as well, all of the other agencies of the city. It was stated by the Deputy Public Safety Director exactly what we're trying to do. Obviously, this summer we're having what's called a Safe Summer initiative under the title Back Together Again, right? Because you know Roberta Flack and Donnie Hathaway. I know some of y'all know who that is, but Back Together Again is what we're doing this summer. We're back together again. Outside this pandemic, we're bringing everybody back together, and we want to do it in a safe way, in a safe environment. So every opportunity that we get to be out on the street, to make sure the community is safe, the people are safe. We want to invite kids out. We want to invite people out back into the community out in the street, and we do it in a safe way. So this is a great way to get this done. So hats off to the Public Safety Department and all of the agencies that are under that are going to be a part of what's going on this summer. And we're going to do it all the way up until it's time to take our babies back to school, because that's what it's about, to show our kids that we're working collectively together to make their community safe, their city safe, and to bring services back to the community better than what they were before the pandemic. Not like before the pandemic, but better than they were before the pandemic. So thank you to all the men and women of the fire department, police department, OEM, everybody that's out here today. I thank you for being out here and bearing with us, trying to make our community safe. And all of the folks I see back there from Newark Community Street Team, Office of Violence Prevention, all of you folks back there, I see code enforcement officers, everybody. Thank all of y'all for coming out and representing your agencies and making sure our city stays strong. God bless.
Thank you, Mayor.
I'll check in here.
It's nice, it's cool out here, but I still won't talk a lot. I'll try and keep it moving. So it's my honor now to call forth our Public Safety Director, Director Brian O'Hara.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Just wanted to start forth by, again, thanking Colonel Callahan from the State Police. Also, the Essex County Prosecutor, Prosecutor Ted Stevens. There's folks from the Prosecutor's Office that are here with us. Essex County Sheriff Armando Frontura. There's sheriff's officers also that have committed to be a part of this summer initiative with us. And of course, Newark Community Street Team, Office of Violence Prevention and Trauma Recovery, as well as code enforcement and our fire department partners and OEM. We know this summer is incredibly important to the people of our city, particularly after coming out of this last 14, 15 months of pandemic. And we know one thing that will make the summer go well is if the people in our communities feel safe. So we're making a very deliberate effort to bring all of these agencies together, state, federal, county, and local, as well as our partners from the community, to ensure that we're able to go out each day in different neighborhoods and to help make people feel safe. And we want all of us working together, whether you're code enforcement, whether you're law enforcement, to be out here engaging local residents so that we can identify problems in the community that need to be fixed. Because we know just our presence alone can make a difference and help make people feel safe and help make people be able to enjoy their summer. It's particularly important around young people in the community. And I want to make sure our officers know that and they remember that when you're out here every day. There's actually a story of a 12-year-old who had an interaction with a police officer in Louisville in 1954. And that officer spoke to that child who had just had his bike stolen. And that young 12-year-old was so upset, he said, "Officer, if I ever find out who took my bike, I'm going to whoop him." And the cops told him, "Well, do you even know how to fight?" And he said, "No." 4 years later, that person won the Golden Gloves, and you know him today as Muhammad Ali. So it's from that instance, that one simple interaction, that someone's life and actually the whole direction of the world could change. So I want you all to remember that when you're out here, and that's just how important it is for us to engage our young people and to help improve their lives. So thank you all and stay safe.
Thank you, Director. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor now to introduce to you our State Police Colonel, Colonel Pat Callahan.
Thank you, everybody. I'll just take a minute. It's always good to be back in Newark, and I thank you, Mayor Baraka and Director O'Hara. I know the mayor was channeling Roberta Flack. I was thinking more about Bill Withers and Lean on Me, and how we do need to lean on one another, and how discussions about public health and public safety, that you can't have those without the public. And I think sometimes we miss that. So that came up, I think, on one of the community street team Zoom calls last spring. And it struck a chord with me. And I think that's why we stand shoulder to shoulder, OEM, police, fire, and community, not an us versus them, but all in it together as that one village in certainly the largest city in the great state of New Jersey. So the New Jersey State Police is honored to stand here today. Looking forward to a safe summer, looking forward to getting to know each other at cookouts, at church. If we're trying to get to know each other around yellow crime scene tape, I think we've missed the mark. So that's why events like today are important. And to all the Newark police officers, be safe out there. And you know that New Jersey State Police stands with each and every one of you, and certainly with the citizens of Newark. Let's have a good summer. And as the mayor said, it's good to be back together again. God bless each and every one of you.
Thank you so much, Colonel. So before we get over to asking some questions here, I actually do want to give out one more shout out. I did mention the Mayor's Clergy Affairs Office. I do want to give a shout out to Reverend Roundtree, who never stops moving, never stops praying for our city. She's a gem, absolute gem. Thank you for being here. This time, we'd like to turn it over to the press for any questions. All right, I was ready to shut the mic off.
No, you guys are.
I just wanted to know, is the city of Newark and the police department increasing patrols this summer? I have a follow-up.
Yes, absolutely. That's the main thrust of what the Newark officers that you see here will be doing.
So,
Yep.
like, what's the increase, like, in terms of numbers? Like, how does it compare from previous years?
I don't have, obviously there were not foot patrols that I can remember last year, because last year was just something different. But these officers here, there will be at least 22 officers on foot posts every day.
And then also, too, I mean, there's been, an increase in, I don't know if it's an increase, but I've just been seeing a lot of stories and reports of shootings and homicides in the city of Newark. How is this going to help?
Yeah, so I think in terms of gun violence, there's obviously a problem with gun violence nationally, right? If we were to compare, where we are as a city today versus last year, overall crime remains down. However, we do have a problem with non-fatal shootings and with murders. However, if you were to compare it not to last year when everything was shut down, but to 2019, we're on par with where we were in 2019. So that being said, in addition to the uniformed officers that you see who will be primarily doing walking patrols and engaging with folks, and also, of course, code enforcement and our other partners who will be out here to try and address problems in the neighborhood that create conditions where crime can thrive. We will separately have state troopers, federal agents, our own narcotics task force with the prosecutor's office, and a number of other, investigative steps that will be going on, focused on areas where we have, concentrations of gun violence, and also on specific people that we are aware of that are responsible for a lot of the violence. So, two different ways of addressing it.
Do you know what's behind the recent fatal shootings plural? I mean, is it COVID related or like coming out of COVID?
I can tell you one thing that's different, particularly from last year, is we've had 8 murders this year that were essentially related to domestic violence or folks within their homes and that sort of thing. And that's something that's different that we did not have at this period last year. But even within that, they're in situations where there was no history of a domestic violence incident before. So it's certainly stuff that's concerning, and obviously it's happening nationally, but clearly it has something to do with the last 14 months of everything being shut down and children not being able to go to school, and economic effects and problems with housing and all those sorts of things. I think it's going to literally take years until we're able to answer that question exactly.
In addition to the launch of last week's Community Youth Initiative, what are some of the other things that the department plans to do this summer, kind of building on that communication between the department and the community?
Right, so there's stuff happening with all of the CSOs citywide, but there's larger events that I believe are included in the written press release. I think the first one is actually a carnival that's coming up in the 3rd precinct, but there's a number of other larger events that are being planned that will be held in conjunction with the community roll calls that are going to specifically target outreach to young people and engaging young people in a positive way.
Do you think too that like the community, the relationship between police and communities all across the state and nationwide too, it's really beginning to be reevaluated? Like, do you think that this is what people want right now? Like, do you think that this relationship, like having increased gun patrols, is actually gonna happen?
I think there's like decades of academic research that shows that is something that helps make people feel safe in communities, and I think on a very basic level, like Colonel Callahan actually mentioned, that it's absolutely essential to initiate relationships and then trying to maintain them with as many folks as we can in the community.
Thank you for coming, and please let's welcome the community and let's mingle with our officers and our fire department.